Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So guys, Bitcoin is continuing to move to the upside. Well, right now it's not over the last 3 hours. We have seen a bit of a downturn for Bitcoin, but yesterday we did see more gains. Just look at yesterday afternoon. Well, from early in the morning till the evening, we did see about a 6.5% gain for Bitcoin on the chart. That has, of course, translated into the altcoin market as well. And some are saying maybe we will actually hit $100,000 by the end of the year. Again, Bitcoin currently trading at 90,900. So as I've been saying, this has been bringing sentiment up. And some are suggesting that, Bitcoin still has some life in it. The fear and greed index is up to 18. So we're still in extreme fear, but 18, a far cry from 9. Remember when we were in single digits? Market cap is up to $3.1 trillion. That's up 4% over the last 24 hours. And guys, we're seeing a sea of green today. Bitcoin up by 4.98% in the last 24 hours. We got Ethereum up by 3.27%, XRP up by 1.3%, BNB coin up 3.66%, Solana up almost 4%. So most of the major altcoins are up. Most altcoins are up, actually. This is very positive news for the space. Let's take a look at XRP real quickly here. And, despite the fact, so I had drawn this bullish pennant pattern on the chart yesterday morning. And yesterday morning, we were trading in and around here. And sure enough, we did break out of that bullish pennant pattern with about 4 bullish hours in a row. This is the XRP chart on the hourly. And then look at that. A slow decline forming what is looking like another bullish pennant pattern. So hopefully we can break out of this. Of course, guys, this is all dependent on what Bitcoin is doing in the moment. But for more information on how I'm seeing market structure, where I'm putting my chips, you guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Only $5 a month, more than most people spend on nonsense every single day. Think of that ridiculous thing you bought at Target or Burlington or Marshall's or whatever for over $5. Not to mention all those impulse buys you guys probably make on Amazon. There you go. It is only $5 a month, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock into that price. Guys, I got to say, market looking very promising. And, maybe there's something to be said about the Thanksgiving pumps. So for those of you guys celebrating, happy Thanksgiving today. Today is Thursday, November the 27th, 2025. Bitcoin performance in the last 30 days after Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is an interesting metric from Crypto's Russ. Historically, if Bitcoin pumps after Thanksgiving, it tends to move aggressively over the next 30 days. So an interesting metric that I never thought about here. Now, these lines represent the times when Bitcoin did pump after Thanksgiving. So we've got 2016, 2017, 2018 at 18%, 21%, and 83% respectively. Then we had 2021 sitting here at 51%, 2024 at 17%. Are we going to see a pump to the upside in the latter half of 2025 and into 2026? Well, that is still yet to be determined. And right now, we are currently seeing a pump, but I guess we still just have to wait and see. He says the post-Thanksgiving window is known for volatile, fast-paced price action. Will Bitcoin bring gravy with that pumpkin pie? Very good question here. This Bitcoin pump is not a gift, though, says Andrew BTC, so a bit of a differing view here. This Bitcoin pump looks bullish. I'm long right now, but I still think it is a trap. So the bounce started at 80,000 after a huge liquidation wick. I'm targeting short-term upside, then expecting a much deeper move down. Essentially what he's saying is that he is expecting a relief rally for Bitcoin. So guys, that's the other theory that I'm going to be addressing over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I'm going to be holding a live Q&A event that is going to be happening this Sunday, November the 30th. Haven't decided on the time yet, but going to be for the Patreon subscribers. This idea that Bitcoin is going up right now is, great to see in the moment. However, the question is V-shaped recovery, or are we going to tap out somewhere in here? Is FOMO going to build and then we make a lower low? I mean, this has historically happened in the past. So I've got some relief rally theories coming up. Bullrun Gravano also commenting on this. Guys, I know you're excited that we went back over $90,000, but there's no way we're going to moon without the below happening first. So what he's suggesting is that Bitcoin has to make this extended double bottom if we are to see a renewed rally into 2026. So that's the other thing. Relief rally, one theory here. And, but the relief rally could be, so there's two scenarios. Either it goes down further or it goes down, bounces, and we create this V bottom, or sorry, not V bottom, we create this double bottom pattern and Bitcoin moves to higher highs. Again, it would have to go up above all-time high in this case, so up above $126,000. How likely is this scenario? Well, don't hold your breath, guys. I mean, there's lots to suggest that we could go up. I guess we really have to see what happens during this Thanksgiving rally if Bitcoin still does have steam in the tank. Okay, some optimism here from Tom Lee. The best 10 days for Bitcoin have not even happened yet. So Tom Lee, still very positive on this. Another one courtesy of Crypto Russ here. Listen to this.
Now, you've been, I think, pointing toward, let's say, 7,000 in the S&P by year end. Now, that's only like 2.5% up from here. We made some progress. But a year ago, you also thought we'd hit 7,000 in the first half of this year. So what happened along the way? And I guess, what might you think about in terms of impediments looking into 2026?
Yes, I mean, we're almost through this year. And I'd say, looking back, this was 5 years of history compressed into 1 year, because we had a major bear market, the biggest tariff hikes ever, and that, of course, killed any hope of any 7,000 in the first half. But miraculously, stocks went into a waterfall decline and recovered every single point of that decline symmetrically. So it really speaks to the resilience. But I guess as we're thinking about next year, I bet you it's going to be very similar in the sense that we'll get a policy shock, maybe whether it's monetary or from the administration. It could lead to a big drawdown of 20% again. Yeah. But it's a replay of this year. And maybe we've now had 20% bear markets in 5 years. I mean, that's a lot of history compressed into a 5-year period. Now,
you mentioned, obviously, the confusion over the path for the Fed as contributing to this recent pullback, as well as some policy flux in there. What role did the violent shakeout in crypto have on all that? Because a week ago, that's all we were talking about was Bitcoin can't stop going down. The NASDAQ wants to follow it, or people are concerned about how that's going to knock other things loose in other financial assets. So it's stabilized, but it's not exactly sort of participating to the upside in this bounce.
Yes. So crypto had been a leading indicator for actually most of the last 5 years. But on October 10th, crypto had what I would call Armageddon, a flash event. But it led to a liquidation that was never seen in the 15 years history of Bitcoin. About a third of the market makers went out of business that day. Almost 2 million accounts went to zero. Yeah. And it was because of a pricing error, what I would call a glitch. So in a way, it means crypto represents really a very precise measurement of risk appetite, because there's so much more leverage. And that got wiped out. Right. That last time it happened in 2022, it took 8 weeks before people sort of touch their toes back in. I think that's where we are. We're near a bottom. But now I don't think crypto leads. Crypto is lagging because it's really the AI that's going to be leading.
Okay, so so basically that is kind of sidelined the idea of what, Bitcoin 150,000 you were thinking before?
Well, I think it's still very likely that Bitcoin's going to be above 100,000 before year end, and maybe even above one to a new high. So Bitcoin makes its moves in 10 days and every year. I think some of those best days are still going to happen before year end.
Wow, that's pretty optimistic. I mean, I guess unless we see another catalyst. You heard Tom Lee say that, we did see a lot of activity compressed in 1 year. So 5 years of general activity compressed in 5. If we do see multiple bear moves, it's going to be really, really hard to get up to new all-time highs. But I don't know, just another opinion there. Wanted to thank Crypto Russ, Bull Run, Gravano, Andrew BTC, and that was another one from Crypto Russ there. Gonna keep moving along. Another one here from Crypto Russ, actually. The structure is healthy. We just need policy. So this coming from the head of institutional strategy, John D'Agostino. He's at Coinbase. He says the real catalysts for, cryptocurrencies that do now have ETFs like XRP isn't the ETF itself. It's going to be the Clarity Act. Listen to this.
What's the big 2026 catalyst? So I think Clarity Act being released, I think that's great. I mean, I'm praying for Q4 of this year, maybe Q1 of next year, but I'll leave that to the much smarter policy folks. I think that's probably the big unlock. We have retail participation. The Solana ETF this quarter was the biggest ETF of the year. So I'm comfortable from a demand side. Eventually, supply side will start to diminish. People will hedge out whatever it is they want to hedge out of their position. We saw a ton of the leverage being washed out October 10th. So structurally, I'm very, very comfortable.
comfortable because the leverage has been flushed out. That October 10th event, of course, really did a number on leveraged traders. We always have to consider there could be another narrative coming down the pike. This one from Digital Asset Buy. I'm no Tether fan, but if you were around during the Gary Gensler era, you probably figured out by now that what's going on right now is a shadow attack on crypto by the same people that tried to take crypto out with Operation Choke Point 2.0. And guys, they're also doing the same with Tether. So he was discussing this article here, or not this article in particular, but just the fact that the S&P did downgrade Tether's stability rating to weak as Bitcoin holdings exceed safety buffers. So, we could expect anything, so despite the fact that Tom Lee is saying, bullish 2026, despite the fact that John D'Agostino was saying bullish 2026, despite the fact that analysts are projecting for a Bitcoin rebound up above $100,000, remember, any kind of quote unquote black swan event could bring the market right back down. And it's looking as though they're positioning Tether as the scapegoat this time to help their narrative bring the crypto market right back down. So essentially, the S&P 500 has said, no, we are downgrading Tether's rating. Okay, Tether's ability to maintain its dollar peg was downgraded by the S&P 500, citing a dangerous shift towards riskier assets. On Tuesday, the rating agency reassessed Tether from 5 to 4. The stablecoin stability assessment now puts Tether in the same category as True USD, which has lost access to nearly all its reserves. But Paolo Ardoino, he posted this to S&P regarding your Tether rating. We wear your loathing with pride. So he's doubling down, doesn't give a flying you-know-what. The classical rating models built for legacy financial institutions historically led private and institutional investors to invest their wealth into companies that, despite being attributed investment-grade ratings, collapsed, pushing worldwide regulators to challenge such models. The independence and objective assessment of all major rating agencies. The traditional finance propaganda machine is growing worried when any company tries to defy the force of gravity of the broken financial system. No company should dare to decouple itself from it. Tether instead built the first overcapitalized company in a financial industry with no toxic reserves, and yet it remains extremely profitable. Tether is living proof that the traditional financial system is so broken that it's becoming feared by the emperors with no clothes. Boom goes the dynamite burn. Sick burn. Smoke also brought up an interesting point, though. Tether did fire its auditors to avoid a full financial audit. So, despite the chest pounding and the posturing, I think Tether's doubling down. I think they're bluffing. And I mean, if they are exposed, this could mean another big downturn for, not just for Tether, but for Bitcoin, for the entire crypto industry, because Tether is indeed the largest stablecoin by market capitalization. You guys can see it in here, number 3 on the coin market cap list. So interesting. I wonder what's going to happen next. All this, though, on the heels of real-world utility and the fact that on the day that Tether gets downgraded by the S&P, the RLUSD actually got greenlit by Abu Dhabi's FSRA. So this courtesy of Bill Morgan here. Ripple did repost their blog post here. In Abu Dhabi, guys, Ripple, the financial technology company that offers crypto solutions for businesses, today they just announced that the US-backed RLUSD has been recognized as an accepted fiat reference token by Abu Dhabi's Financial Services Regulator Authority. So now it is licensed, it is regulated in the United Arab Emirates. Here is the quote: the FSRA's recognition of the RLUSD as a fiat reference token reinforces our commitment to regulatory compliance and trust. 2 non-negotiables that when it comes to institutional finance is coming from Jack McDonald, Senior Vice President of Stablecoins at Ripple. With a market cap of over $1 billion and growing adoption in core financial uses like collateral and payments, the RLUSD is quickly becoming the go-to US stablecoin for major institutions. This momentum is helping drive the next wave of secure, compliant digital asset adoption around the world. And so you guys can read more on that. The UAE does continue to set global benchmarks for digital asset regulation and innovation. This coming from Reese Merrick. He's the managing director of the Middle East and Africa at Ripple. ADGM is recognized globally for its robust and forward-thinking regulatory leadership. So this approval reinforces RLUSD as a compliant stablecoin that meets the highest standards for trust, transparency, and utility. So big news here, guys, coming for the RLUSD again. An interesting dichotomy as we're seeing Tether being criticized essentially in the West. Ripple's RLUSD is being praised, and adopted in the East. So interesting news there. I also happen to see this, how the UK is approaching crypto regulation and becoming a global leader. This is just crypto in 1 minute. I was going to play this clip, but I don't think it's necessary now. Essentially, adopting stablecoins being fully regulated. The UK has lagged a little behind. However, now regulation is becoming more clear. Adopt proportionately growth-friendly rules and allow overseas stablecoins such as the RLUSD to be used locally. Again, I will link this in the description if you guys want to watch this clip. I'm going to keep moving along. Ripple partner Thunes, well, they just partnered with FinFan to forge a strategic alliance to strengthen Vietnam's cross-border remittance ecosystem. So guys, more adoption with Ripple-enabled companies means more utility for XRP and, whatever's going to be running on the XRP ledger. So FinFan is a Vietnam-based fintech company. They're specializing in comprehensive cross-border remittances, and they just partnered up with Thunes. They just recently signed a memorandum of understanding. This alliance seeks to address long-standing challenges in international remittances, from high transaction costs to processing delays, by combining FinFan's digital finance ecosystem and regulatory compliance expertise in Vietnam with Thunes' direct global network. Guys, they're going to enable real cross-time payments for 130 countries in 80 different currencies. So just another great example here of how these Ripple-enabled partnerships have borne fruit over the long term. So great news here. We're going to see more and more of this coming down the pike, I think. Another one here, guys, is Checkbook and Lian. So another Ripple partnership here with Lian. They've just partnered with Checkbook, a leading provider for modern digital payment solutions. Today, they just announced a strategic partnership with Ripple partner Lian. They're looking to streamline international payments for platforms, merchants, students, and travel agencies worldwide. So Lian has built a reputation as a trusted payment service provider in Asia, and now they're forging a partnership with Checkbook because they have innovative payment technology, including PayPal wallet payouts and ACH. Okay, the partnership aims to enhance efficiency and flexibility for businesses across multiple industries. So, you have institutional payments, but then you have the retail side, right? We do need things like, or students rather, they need the option to send money across seas if they're international students, maybe studying abroad. International payment platforms, it says here, merchants, students, travel agencies, right? There's so many applications and need for a lot of this technology to be successful. This partnership with Lian Global represents a major step forward in making cross-border transactions faster, more transparent, and more accessible. This coming from the CRO of Checkbook. And Sandra Lam, the deputy CEO of Lian, she does say Lian Global is dedicated to advancing payments and expanding into the U.S. with innovative financial services. So, expanding into more countries. A lot of these companies did originally start in their own country, their own region maybe, and then expand out. So now we're seeing, these Asian companies like Lian expand into the United States. More demand for XRP, of course, going to be the key, going to be quintessential for price to rise. We got Chad Steingraber here saying, sweet, now look, you can track the balances on exchanges for XRP. So we weren't able to do this before, but now look at this. You can see exactly how much XRP is on the exchange and what those changes are. So Binance, Upbit, Bitstamp, we got Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitfinex, and this is just a screen grab. I'm sure you can scroll down the list and see even more. This is where we're going to see the changes. Not only that, guys, on the XRP ledger, the last 10 RLUSD minting events were on the XRP ledger. So not on the Ethereum EVM sidechain, on the XRP ledger. Remember, only institutions can mint RLUSD directly with RippleNet, not retail. And so all these minting events, the last 10, have been now minted on the XRP ledger. In other words, institutional liquidity on the XRPL is building. So let me remind you guys, stable coins. Okay, a lot of positive news, a lot of positive community sentiment. I'm trying to find it here because I feel like CoinMarketCap changes it every single time. I'm just going to look for stable. Yeah, right down here, stable coins. And if we just now take a look at this, Ripple's stable coin up near over $1 billion in market cap. And boy, it seems like the other day it was just sitting in around 600 million. So guys, it is growing. If we do in fact see this number grow even further in 2026, which I'm pretty confident we're going to see, that means more XRP utility will be flowing over the XRP ledger. And maybe XRP will decouple from Bitcoin. I mean, that's still not a fait accompli, Currently, XRP and the rest of the altcoin market are trading in spec, but for more information on how I see this market maturing, you guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Again, only $5 a month. That's more affordable than your Twitter X verified account every single month. So check it out if that's something you're interested in, though. You got to subscribe and stay subscribed, though, to lock into that price. And check this out, maybe for those of you guys interested. The Working Money Channel merch store is up and running. Link is in the description of the video. If you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merch, that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.